Chris. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ride the 9 Tour Fire Pit Chat. Tonight, I feel a little bit shaky, like my blood sugar is off, because I have the one and only Alison Fisher, Duchess of Doom, here with us tonight. Oh my God. This is an amazing, amazing treat. I am extremely honored by actually all of the people I've had in the fire chat, and especially the females, and I have to say that because I haven't had much interaction with them since the tour began. So I'm coming full circle, and I feel this is absolutely wonderful. So we are going to bring Allison in right now. You see in the pinned comment section, AllisonFisher.com, that's her fan page. All right, and take a look down there for a couple of more things right there. Just scroll through there, and I have some announcements to make. But first, Allison, how are you this evening?
I'm fine, Gloria. How are you? And thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. It seems as though we're still having some internet connections, but we're just going to keep you. You're frozen. If it continues like this, we'll just go vocally and continue on.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you first if you'd like to send any type of credit to. I know you're a brand ambassador for some billiard companies. If you'd like to start us off there.
Oh, yeah, that's great. First one would be Playcraft. Playcraft are home billiard tables and home game room products. And I myself have a shuffleboard at home, courtesy of Playcraft, and a pool table. And yeah, they're a really great company to work with, and they do specialize in the home table market. Then I've got Breakout billiard apparel, which is clothing. They do an Alison Fisher collection. So if anyone wants to go in there, they can put in the AF15 code and get 15% off. So that would be awesome to support them. And then the last one, which I'm really excited about, is a new app that's come out, and it's called CueME, and it's where people can play and challenge other people, whether it be at home or in pool rooms, in person, or like the Ghost. And you can also create your own tournaments, find events anywhere in the world. And within that app, I'm offering tips and tricks to help you improve your game. So if you want to support that, you can get 30% off at CueME.com, and it's available on Apple or Android. And if you use my code, which is AF99, you get 99 cents. You pay 99 cents for the first 30 days. So exciting stuff in my world.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that in the message. So can you just repeat that? So for CueME, you spend 99 cents.
Yeah, it's an app that you pay monthly, but if you sign up using the AF99 code, you can get it for 99 cents for the first 30 days and check it out. But if you go and sign up through CueME.com, you'll get 30% off the monthly rate. So some good value there. And it's
all right. So let me just gonna type that in. AF99 code for CueME.
Yes.
All right.
Through CueME.com.
Yeah. So they know when they go in here, it's already in here, but now they know that they can get that. And then, of course, you said that we have the Breakout Billiards apparel. And that's down in the bottom corner. People can see that right there. And there's CueME, so you know what you're looking for when you go online. All right, and you get 15% off with the code AF15. So don't miss out. If that's what you want to do, please go, just at least go check it out. Even if you don't purchase it, check it out. Maybe it's a future purchase. Okay, I don't know how long these codes are good for. I would take advantage of it. for 99 cents, I say that's a good trial for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I also wanted to send a shout out to my sponsors. First and foremost, I Want Simonis Cloth. A great big thank you to them for being our title sponsor yet again. We are the only official tour in all of North America from I Want Simonis. The only. They cover the BEF, but they're not a tour. We're the only official tour. So thank you so much to Ivan Lee and I Want Simonis North America. I also want to send a special thank you out to Tony Russell. He's my personal Cue sponsor. Okay, he makes amazing cues. Shout out to him. Aramith Premium Balls. Of course, Diamond pool tables. Illuminated Cueing Art System. And there is a code for that. We can't give you the percent, but go there, check it out. And the code is RT9. So it's the iCat system. We love our Littman lights. I actually think that Allison may have one of those.
I do.
Yeah, he makes amazing stuff, Michael, doesn't he?
I think it's awesome.
Yes, I love his stuff. They have the back order about 5 weeks. Massey Apparel also is another tour sponsor. CueME, alrighty, and I have a specific link. You can go through me if you'd like. Purchase anything you want from CueME. You get a free decal from me, $10 while they last. So you get a $10 decal absolutely free. Narragansett Brewery and Zanoni's Auto Repair. And let's not forget our interim Cue sponsor. We have a Cue sponsor that's been in the works for a while, but our Cue sponsor, Jay Flowers. Please look in the pinned comment section. Use Gloria and you get 10% off your carbon fiber Cue shaft, etc. Go there, check it out. Also look up cuelistings.com, jflowercues.com, cuelisting.com, and then also go to Cue Listings YouTube channel, which is in the pinned section. Can't say this enough. Get yourself the discounts while they're here. Look how many discounts we have tonight, Allison, right?
That's awesome. Yeah. What a deal. People.
I know. It's let's make a deal night. So due to the technical issues, we don't have Allison on the here camera wise. Let me see if I can try to put Allison back on video. We'll do that in just a moment. But in the meantime, we're going to continue. So this is Allison. Is yes. we know. I'm going to be brutally honest here, as I always am. And there she is. She's back. I knew Allison was amazing, but upon doing more research, because I followed, Allison and Karen, of course, in their rivalry during my younger years. We just won't talk about that. But Allison has over 80 national titles and 11 world titles. That's something I definitely want to touch base on. And in 2007, she was declared the top female player of the year. Now, this I do remember. Billiards Digest, Pool and Billiard Magazine, and Inside Pool. So we're going to go back to 2007, Blast of the Past. I have this book. This book is going to be buried with me, okay? So that's WPBA 2007, same book I pulled out with Kelly. And look who's there, second page in. And then we have I Want Simonis, of course. And then as we go a couple pages and we pass the amazing Jeanette Lee, there's some background on this, right? About the WPBA. And there's Miss Jeanette again, the very first female who was kind enough to sign for me right there. Yes. And then we have another female who was already on and some amazing greats. But Allison took page number 1 right there. Thank you, Allison, for signing that for me.
You are very cool.
This is no, I was gonna say this is what all started it. Guy Young Kim, Melissa Little, then going to this 1 month apart, all came together, and this is how it all started. So I have some questions for you, but I'd like to know a little bit more about these titles. I want you to talk to us about these titles. If anyone knows anything here, feel free to jump in as she's speaking and talk to us about a specific title that maybe she's speaking about. You autographed my case in 2007. Thank you. That's my good friend Mike Brown. We'll get to some questions, everybody. Karina Harris, CueME.com. Thank you so much for putting that in there for me. I scrambled to do that, Karina. Much respect. Thank you kindly.
Yep, Karina is the owner of CueME, so it's nice that she's online here listening in.
Oh, wow. Wow, I'm just full of surprises tonight. I need a drink of water.
Me too. Cheers.
Cheers. I always have my water with me. Every episode, people are like, oh my gosh, you can't go at one time without water. So, Allison, all right, you started when you were 7 and you won your first title at 17?
Yes, I did actually. I started playing when I was 7. I was watching it on TV. My dad was watching a game called Pot Black, which was a snooker tournament on television. And I just liked the look of it, asked how the scores worked, how you played the game, and he told me, and then I asked for a small table for Christmas. And that's what I got. And I used to play everyone who used to come to the house. And then when I was about 11, we got a 6-foot table at home, and then eventually a 12-foot. But I used to go in a local pub, local social club with my mum and dad. And I was in bed one night and I was crying, and my mum said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I want to get on that full-size table." So my dad asked the owner if I could play on it, and they let me, and that was how it all started for me.
Wow. So you went from a 6-foot table and doubled to a 12-foot?
Yes. Yeah. I was totally mesmerised. We used to go down that pub, and that's all I would watch is people playing snooker. So I could see how, it worked. I saw how they were standing, how they were queuing. I was absorbing it all. And eventually I got to play, and the members were very welcoming, and that really made a big difference. And so I just used to play in there, and you could only get sort of doubles games because there were so many people, and it was only one table. So you'd walk in, put your name up, and then you'd go and play doubles until from opening to closing time, basically. It was a lot of fun, and I think looking back on it, I think that helped my focus a lot because there was a machine in the corner, dogs could run around, children were allowed in. There was a lot going on in a small space, so I think that there's not much that bothers me when I'm playing.
Yes, it's weird because I was talking today to somebody about that, and I said she's got this amazing, tremendous focus. When you're at the table, and there's been so many years I've watched you, you don't seem in the slightest bit frazzled. And it was one of the questions. It's like, do you actually even feel fear at the table? Because you have this game face on, and it's like even when someone plays this magnificent safe on you, you're just back at the table, and it's almost like the thought in your head is, oh, look, well, I've left myself bad here. How do I get out of this? Or what am I to do? And there's this tunnel vision, this intensity that I see. And I used to think to myself, does she even fear? Is she concerned? Is there anything? Seriously, I always admired that because I don't get frazzled by much either. I usually talk during my match and people are like, oh, that's such poor sportsmanship. But like to me, I'm not even thinking. It's just like I'm so used to it in New York playing in all these places. No one's quiet. There's really not a lot of great sportsmanship in the tiny tourneys either, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the mindset that you have during play and the thought process that goes through your mind when you are up against your opponent, from maybe even start to finish.
Well, there's a physical and a mental process, and I think it all looks very easy and somewhat is, but it's taken years and years of practice. So I think people don't really. I used to think it was something I did quite easily, but then I realised I've been playing for many, many years at such a young age, from such a young age, and competing. So part of it, I think, is the temperament to play the game, which I'm a very patient person anyway. And then the other part is that I enjoy the process, and the process being like the physical routine. And what you have to do in order to learn that is based on lots of good habits, isn't it? I mean, from addressing the ball, deciding what shot you're going to play, addressing the ball, down on the shot, holding the cue in position. Does it look good? Does it feel good? Moving the cue, slow backswing, hit the ball, follow through, stay down, feedback. So there's a lot of moving parts and then not moving parts. But I think what it is, the key is, it's mindfulness, but being empty at the point of being down on the shot, which comes from years of practice. You know, it's like anything. It's like your meditations and that you were talking about earlier when we were chatting.
Yes.
Well,
A lot of females seem to have that same thing that I don't think a lot of the men have.
Well, in the beginning, when you were learning that, your mind was full of other things, wasn't it? All the noise. And I think from practice of something, then you learn to empty it and calm down. So the more you know yourself and the more you know what you do at the table, the easier it is to help yourself and to stay present, knowing that the effort that you've put in to get there, to be at the table in the match, is now going to pay off because you've learned all these things to be calm. You've learned a routine that's your own routine, and when you're in your routine, nothing can really break into that in that concentration.
Yeah, you really, I mean, you just went through, I mean, every single step. Do you go through those steps in your head? Like, do you address in your own mind the steps that you're taking as you're doing them? Or do you find that at this or at that point, they started to become extremely natural because, they say, practice makes perfect. Well, habit, makes perfect. So did you at what point did it become, if it did become, just pure habits, that you disciplined yourself so well?
I think I'm not really sure when. I'm not sure when it all clicked. I think when I won my first world title, a lot clicked because I had the expectation the year before. I was expected to, and I didn't. So I was so determined to get over the winning line the following year. And I think one thing that I've always had that was very, very natural to me was determination. And I just loved to win, really. I loved the trophies. I loved the process of winning. I mean, it only lasts 30 seconds when you actually win, because you go up, you get your trophy, and you have your speech. But it's the whole process of it, what it took to get there, how well you played or didn't play. There's so much that comes from it. So I'm not sure the moment it clicked, but once I got my first win, I knew I could win. So I think that's a big moment in anyone's life. The first competitive win, then it's within you to do it again. So
yeah, it's funny because people consider getting the trophy, like when someone hands you the trophy, that's the moment of success. To me, the moment of success is the moment you get to the table and you try for the very first time and you don't give up and you keep going. That's success in itself. It's not when they hand you the graduation certificate. you've already succeeded far before that. That's just the moment that it's been recognized. So,
Oh yeah, it's a long process. It's a long process, and there's lots of laughter. There's lots of tears along the way. There's a lot of hurt sometimes, but that's the whole part of it. The getting up and starting again, brushing yourself off, and getting back to the table.
yeah. How? What was the most memorable win and the most memorable loss? And then I would like to, I always give like 5 questions at one time. The most you've learned from each, say humility from a win or humility from a loss or patience from either. So the most memorable ones, and then what you learned from each.
Oh, that's a tricky one.
I'm sorry. Maybe we shouldn't have gone raw on live.
Yeah, I think one of my most memorable wins was my first national title when I was in the US in 1995. I came over, and in December I won my first national title. Most memorable because my dad was there, and it was the first time he ever saw me play pool. And you have to remember, I was 27 when I left England. I got a one-way ticket to America to try something new, so it was a big deal. So 3 months into it, he came to see if I was okay, and I was in LA. And yeah, so he came to that tournament, and I think I had a lot of pride in winning there and him coming out. He was a very shy, sort of introverted but funny guy, and so he was my sidekick all along the way. As a parent, pushing me to do well and being very proud, and then coming to another country to watch me, perform, and then I ended up winning nationals. So, and that was a kind of a funny tournament because I was quite new into the sport at that point, and I played Robin Dodson in my first TV match, and I shot the 3 before the 2, and I didn't know what I'd done wrong. I looked at the table and I didn't quite know all the colours and numbers at that point. I was still sort of looking, and it was in the semi-finals, and I got carried away with my thought process in like running the rack. And then Steve Tipton at that time said foul, and I'm like, what have I done wrong? And he said, you just shot the 3 before the 2. I went, oh, right. But anyway, so what did I learn from that?
Did you have your focus? Did you have the focus that we talked about then?
Yeah, you see, I won it with a 3-ball combo. It was actually really cool. Right before that, I was looking at a safety shot. Then it just came to me. I thought, no, I'm going to try that shot anyway. But that's irrelevant.
I want to look that up. I would like everybody to look that up.
It was against Laurie John Jones at that point.
That was Ellie. That was with LJ.
Yes, and it was at a bicycle club in Los Angeles, and it was a national championship in 1995. That was when I was wearing waistcoats and bow ties.
I remember that you would dress. They talked about that at one point. About I think that I had remembered something about, this is going back, about you wanting to, that you actually enjoy dressing up. Excuse me, I dropped my water cap.
Yeah, it's like having a uniform, turning up at school in a uniform, for example. I did when I was younger, and it makes you feel like you belong somewhere, you're part of something. So I actually enjoyed that. And in snooker, that is mandatory. You have to do that. I was, wearing my snooker clothes over into a pool arena.
Wow. I can honestly say that I knew some of this, but I did not know all of this, and I was just kind of overwhelmed by when you said yes. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. Like I watched you play. I've watched you, and actually that season or that tournament, excuse me, at the WPBA event, they took a picture of the audience and put the audience on the cover of Billiards Digest. And I'm with my pen. I'm like, there I am. Like, you could see me in like one of all of the people.
That's
So
great. That's awesome.
but I didn't get a copy of it. My friend did. He's like, oh, I got the last one here. I'm like, oh. So he has that picture, but that's okay. I have some pictures with you all on an old camera that I store in here that I never. It's actually right here. This is the camera that has Ga Young Kim, you, Karen, Kelly, whole 9 yards. That camera goes no place but stays in that particular drawer.
No, I love that.
Yes.
It's organised as that because I've got chaos all over the place.
Oh no, this is if you can see behind the amount of water bottles and shredding that needs to be done, and I'm very OCD about particular things, but when it comes to certain things, yes, like I have my signed cue balls there and cue cases that don't go anywhere at all. So people have some questions. Is it okay that we go through a couple of them?
Well, of course it is, but I never really did answer your last question. I answered favourite moment. One of my
what you learned.
Yeah, the loss was against Vivian Virel, and I had a chance to. It was a ESPN Ultimate Challenge, and I had a chance to play CJ Wiley, who won the men's tournament, and I was playing Vivian in the final, and I lost 7-5. And what I do remember from that is 2 poor shots that I played that cost me it. So I've never forgotten it. Wounded all these years later. But the learning from it is how to play the shot correctly. I played it incorrectly. I played it like a snooker player would play it. Instead of going 3 rails, I went 2 and I snookered myself. So I learned, really to play the game better, read the shots better. And obviously very, very disappointed, and it hurt. So, I think there's strength that comes from the pain sometimes, that you bounce back and, you do better next time, which the following year I ended up winning that ESPN Ultimate Challenge. So, I did come back.
It seems as though every time you're that close, you come back and win the following time, the next time.
Yeah, I think what I pride myself on or have done in my career is being consistent. And so even if I'm not winning the event, I'm pretty close. I'm up there, usually in the top 2, 3, 4, So consistency has been what I've been all about, I think, really. Producing the goods consistently. And, it's one thing winning a tournament, it's another thing to keep winning it, to stay there. So that's about consistency.
Okay.
So the learning processes are when you're under pressure, I think. What could you do better? When the shots that you didn't do so well, you need to work on. The feelings, maybe sometimes you're out of whack mentally, and you need to work on that. And I think they're just things that come up now and again, where you're maybe not as composed as you should be. But I've never lost it in a match where there are times when you feel the blood rising up when you've played something really poorly and you're so upset with yourself because maybe it was a simple mistake. But you need to be able to control that. And an example of that, I was playing in I can't remember. Oh, it's the Nationals, I think, another Nationals. They were very special to me, the Nationals. But I was playing in the final, and my father wasn't doing so good at the time. He had cancer, and I had to run. Well, it's fine, thank you. But I was trying to run it at the last rack. I'll never forget it. It was like the balls were perfect for me to run out. And I remember just filling up with emotion, like tearful, just at the thought of it. And then I ended up doing it. I actually got through all that fighting it, and sometimes you feel that and you have to push it back down, which is not easy to do until you get to the winning line. You still got to go through the motions of what you've been training for. And that was just a really emotional moment, because I knew it was there for the taking, and to actually go out and do it was really special. And then, of course, right after I called my dad and let him know, he was waiting, in England to hear the result. So that was the last tournament I won before he did pass away. So I was really pleased to have won it. That's very special.
So that would probably be probably one of the most memorable as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and the most heartfelt, because you
Definitely.
feel, yeah. Um, I'm actually, my great niece has passed away about almost close to a month ago now, and I have not played in any tournaments or anything since 2013, and I decided to try virtual and get back into it. I mean, uh, I'm no pro player by any stretch of the imagination, but I think the more you play with heart, um, the more passion and love that you have. Uh, there are so many things that really go into that. So playing with the intent of my niece is going to, I think, really push me and make me want to strive to place, at the very least, the players that I'm going to be virtually up against, because of COVID is a big problem for me. But I know that I'm going to uh, use the emotion in a positive manner. And like you were talking about, like when it gets here and they're about to come out, you need to push it down. You need to just think about, there's a quote, don't focus on the fear, focus on the end result, you know. And that's one of the
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
I'm
my
so,
thing is focusing on method, like not the result. It's exactly kind of what you're saying,
yeah.
liking it to Paul. But I'm very sorry about your great niece. So,
Thank you. Thank
yeah.
you.
But I know another example of tournaments that I will share is that, gosh, I don't know, yeah, what year was it? 2010. It was the year Pearson was born, my son, and I went to the World Championships. I prepared for it. I was mentally and physically in shape and very, very prepared for it. And then my brother died the day before I left, and my middle brother, Simon. And it was obviously very shocking. And I was in a state of, do I even want to go? It was in China. Do I even want to get on a plane? Is it a waste of time? Because I just mentally, I don't know if I can do it. And anyway, I went over and played, and I had this very, very, very strong feeling he was sitting next to me all the time. And I believe he was, and it pulled me through it. Like you're thinking about your great niece,
Yes.
if you do that. But anyway, I've just felt the feelings so strongly that he was next to me. And I got all the way through to the final. And I was playing great. And then I was 5-0 down in the final. And the whole crowd, the stadium, were laughing, like chanting my opponent's name throughout. And it was really tough.
Oh.
It was really, really difficult, And I ended up losing 9-7, I think. And I was absolutely, I was sort of devastated, because at the end of it, you're there on your own, walking down a corridor, because you had a drug test too. The stadium's empty, and you're sort of, that's it, it's over. And then that empty feeling of, it was amazing to get second, but it was so disappointing. And it took everything in the press interview. I was saying, well, I was trying to be noble about it, saying that, that they said, oh, well, how do you feel? You just lost, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I came back from 5-0 down to 7-7 and ended up losing the last two games. So I said, I'm quite proud of myself for that, to get back. And then they said something like, yeah, but you still lost. And it took everything for me not to like burst into tears, because of the devastation at losing my brother, having to put all that aside. And then a week later was the China Open, and I went to, in between, I went back to England for my brother's funeral. And it was just, I wasn't playing pool, and I went back, and then I went back to China, and incredibly, I don't know how, I got to the final again. And I beat Karen. This was amazing. I basically beat Karen 9-0. I think it was 7-0 or 9-0. I think we were racing to 9. But I basically beat a 9-0, which I've never done in my career. And, I played so well. And then I got to the final again. And I think I was 7-5 up to Chen Ximing. And I felt like I was way behind. I couldn't get over the winning line. And again, the same thing happened. I lost. And that damaged me for a long time, and it was, I don't know. To this day, I'm proud. I mean, my family and friends are really proud of me for doing what I did. But at the same time, when you're so close and yet so far, but the loss of my brother in between those was, I don't know. I don't know how I dealt with that, because I know what you're going through, and you just somehow go into a bit of an autopilot, I think. The only person who knew about it was Kelly, which I confided with her, because we flew
Kelly Fisher?
Yeah, we flew together. We never mentioned it throughout the 2 weeks, It was just very... I had to put it aside. I couldn't think about it, because otherwise I'd have just been a bawling wreck, probably.
Yeah, and Kelly is, by the way, not to take away from you, but Kelly is just an amazing player, woman, individual overall. I just adore her.
Yeah, she's wonderful, and she's great for the sport, and we're very, very close.
Yes.
We've said, like everything over the years. So we're like sisters, even though we're not related.
You can get away with it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
um, uh, there's so many, like, there are so many questions. I could sit here for a couple of hours and just go on and on, uh, about your involvement in the WPBA, and have about playing mixed, and there are questions about more. Honestly, I'm so I want to delve into more of the childhood time, because starting at 7 is such a young age. But as you said, you were just really just mesmerized with it. What about it? Was it the sound of the cue? Was it the roll of the ball? Was it what fascinated me was watching the physics behind it.
Mm-hmm. I think it was all, I mean, it's hard to say, but I would say that the angles, the making of the ball into a pocket, probably the sound. But I also, at that time, my other favourite game was a shooting game. It was a little magnetic ball bearing game where you lift a ball bearing up through this plastic. It's called Magic Shot, I think. And you shoot through these targets. So those are my two favourite games. So it was obviously a bit of hand and eye coordination going on in both games. And I don't know. I enjoyed the challenging. Whoever came to the door at snooker, I enjoyed that. I had two older brothers, and none of them played, so I was definitely the tomboy in the family. And I enjoyed it. I loved playing soccer too at the time, football, as we know it in England.
Yeah, yes, different in America.
Yeah, so I was just into the ball sports, It was.
Yes.
I was just into that. I had that hand and eye coordination early, and I recognised it, I guess.
Yes, I didn't realize the same thing with me. I was an avid tennis player. I was ranked number 3 in Staten Island. And I loved softball myself. I played just about every sport, basketball too. And it wasn't until I was 16. I mean, that's going back to when I was like 11, 12 years old. Sorry about that. I fell in love with that same thing, the hand-eye coordination. you know, it was that I went one night with a boyfriend, somebody that I was dating, and he took me to play pool. I was 16, and I saw the atmosphere, and it was smoky and not great. But when I would watch the cue or the ball spin, it was just mesmerizing to me.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great
and
game. Great game.
yeah, the sound of it too, the sound of the balls, the clanking, you
Well, Gerda
know.
said something very appealing to me once when we were teaching, and she was saying it out loud to a class, and it was to seek the sound of your stroke, and I love that.
Mm. You know, it's funny because it's not, you really can't hear anything in the, you know, when you go to like a regular pool hall, you really can't hear that. But when you're practicing alone, or when you're practicing, you know, or when you're in a tournament, um, you can hear a pin drop. Um, so it's so much different. I also want to say, excuse me, we keep having to take off the camera and put it back on. For whatever reason, it's still freezing on that end. I hope that, Allison, I'm sorry if it's frustrating you, but I just want people to be able to see you, because that's such a big part. You know, the voice is one thing, but to physically see is something so much different. Um, so, so um, I did have, like I said, I had a bunch of questions, but I'm kind of feeling as though just having it in a fire pit type of way, instead of being, you know, so strict with the questions. I'd rather have someone talk about what they want to and have it just like flow naturally, be very organic, um, uh, uh, overall, than ask questions. But if there are questions, I don't. Is it okay that I go through a couple of?
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately I'm going to cut off in about probably 10 minutes because I have to go and get, believe it or not, some tips put on my queue.
I know. Oh yes,
Minutes, babe. We can always resume. We can always do another follow-up chat too.
we can do a what?
We can do another follow-up chat too.
Oh,
So
I would love that. Yes, absolutely. Well, just I'll go over them very quickly. Then, Allison, great to see you, everybody. People are writing Doom, the
oh,
nickname.
just a do.
Great to see you. Gloria seems to work. Try minimizing stuff. Okay, thank you. Miss Fisher, the female queen of billiards. Tom, you need to look that up. Um, yes, okay. Duchess of Doom underneath. Then we have some hi. No video. I know. I know. Remember the AF99. Everybody. I have a bunch of loyal followers who started a league, and they asked me to stream it. These are the players that started a league, and they asked me to come in on it. I'm so, well, guys, try it for 1 month. I'll even pay for it for the 99 cents. Please go there and go to CueME.com. Put in that code, and I will personally send you the money to do that. If anybody wants to do it, I'll pay for the first 20 who try it. Okay?
Awesome. Thanks so much. You know what's fun about it is there's ghost play, like meaning everywhere play. So you could
Yes.
be at home and your own table and still participate. There'd be a ranking system for ghost play and anywhere play. Like if I want to play you and you're at your home and you have a table and I'm at my home and I have a table, we can do that and we can stream it on live video or not if we choose to. But we can play a match and you can create a tournament too on the app. So it's going to be a really good thing for Paul, and the point of it is to bring people and places together. So that's what we're looking for.
Oh,
So
the first 20 people that send me a screenshot via PM that you've downloaded it and that you've paid for it, I'm going to send you $1 for the first 20. Okay?
thank you.
You're
That's awesome.
welcome. You're
Great job.
welcome. $20 well spent, and if they love it, then they can tell their friends about it.
And like I said, I'll be doing tips and tricks on it. So there's other value in the app too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's priceless.
We're
So
getting
it's
better.
worth the 99 cents. I'm gonna go do it myself. You said it's for Android and for the
Ab-
iPhone,
Absolutely, yeah.
both. That's
Yes.
great. So yes, if you want to, because you have to get. I remember we talked about the fact that you had to get those tips put on. Just I guess we'll just get maybe 3 questions. Who is a better challenge for you, Kelly Fisher or Jeanette? And I'm guessing he means Jeanette when she,
Kelly, I think.
Okay, all right.
Mm.
That's a really on the spot question, but Brad Swain. In the early 2000s, I used to love watching Mrs. Fisher, Alison Fisher play. He learned a lot from you about pattern play.
Oh,
He
thank
said he
you.
absorbed perfection at play, and he gives you some love there. Um, Allison came to Charleston for a seminar at Cathedral. Praised Jim. I don't know if you remember that.
You, I
The
do.
Billiard Academy. Yeah. Uh, oh,
That was a
wow.
great night. I was sharing stories about my career and playing challenge matches.
Yeah. He said he just froze. He wanted to talk, but he just froze. So my questions are coming back to Charleston. Are you coming back to South Carolina at any time soon?
Well, I live in North Carolina, so I'm right on the border. I'd love to one day, I'm sure. People get in touch with me through af@alisonfisher.com, then I can maybe arrange that. I
It's
just
in
want
the
to,
pin section. It's in the pin section.
yeah, excellent. A quick mention just coming up this coming weekend. I'll be next weekend playing at the Texas Open in the ladies event. That's at Skinny Bob's in Round Rock in Texas. So if anyone wants to come out and support the tournament, there'll be a lot of the top men in the world, and I'll be there playing too. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes, yeah. There was a lot of James Henshew had put up some jump cues. I know that,
Yes,
and
really, very generous guy. He's a great guy, James.
yeah, yeah, and I shared it, and a couple of people were putting up jump cues, and it got filled up, and they put some more up just to make sure that there was. I think it's $5,000 guarantee added
Right,
is what
yeah,
they.
5,000 added for the women's event, which is awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, we know who's going to be coming in the top there, I think. So I'm going to grab that flyer. Allison, if you have a chance to send that to me, I'd love to put that up so people will know where you're going to be. And of course, to just put it up to give Skinny Bob some recognition because we deal with Skinny Bob's a lot, the Simonis end.
I did a
Um,
I did a seminar there a few years back, and I really enjoyed it. I did quite a few in Texas, but that was a really nice forum.
Yeah. Well, okay. So there are some more questions. There's a bunch of questions here. Kyle Boutte is going to ask me, "Did you get Allison? Did you get it?" So what we're going to do is we're going to get back to these questions when Allison comes back on, and she's actually able to. We're actually able to see her moving while
There'll be a
while
part
she's
two, episode two.
episode 2. That'll be great. I think that'll be my first. Was Ivan my first follow up? Ivan Lee? He might have been my first follow up. I'm not sure, but this will be with Kelly. I'm not sure, but we're gonna have a follow up. Allison has offered, and you know me, I'm going to take that and run with that. So
Why not?
um, yeah. So again, please, in the pin section, go over to her page, click like, follow. For updates for things that she's posting, look up Skinny Bob's over in Texas. That's a really great venue. A lot of great things come out of Skinny Bob's, and stay tuned for part 2 of this fire pit where we'll be answering more questions, and I'm going to have more questions for Allison now that I know that I can ask her, and I'm not as I don't want to say nervous, but I was a bit wowed in the beginning. I didn't realize the depth of the career. I knew, and it makes me seem a little stupid, but I am just such a bigger fan now than I ever was. Allison, thank you so much, and thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. So again, everybody, go to CueME.com. First 20 people, send me a screenshot right here on my PM. Send it in the PM, Gloria Jean PM, and I'm going to send you out $1 via PayPal or whatever method you use. And let me know how it, PM me, let me know what it's like. I'm going to be using it, but I want to know your thoughts on it. So, yep. Code AF99. I'm not paying more than $1. AF99. That's it. That's the extent of my offer. All right, Allison. I'll be in touch. We'll be in touch. You have a wonderful night. Practice well and play well. And I'll be sharing that stream for sure. It'll be streamed, right? My understanding?
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
Okay. All right. My understanding is it's going to be streamed. So everybody get ready for that. What's the date on that again, Allison?
That's next weekend. So that's the 27th, 28th, 29th of August.
Okay. There you go. There are the dates. Yeah. All right. Okay, Allison. Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
I'm sorry?
I said thank you, and I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. It's been my pleasure.
All right. Take care.
You too. Have a great one.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Fire Pit, where we bring billiards to your door. Please join us again soon.